Hi guys, the last few days since the Prime Minister stood outside in the rain in front of number 10 have been chaotic, to put it mildly. There was the embarrassing episode of Rishi Sunak delivering what sounded more like a resignation speech than the launch of a campaign. There was the gaffe in Wales, the episode with two Tory councillors posing as members of the public to quiz the Prime Minister, the exit photo which was closely followed by a press conference on the site of where the Titanic was built. But the real problem for the Tory election machine happened on Friday with the bowing out of Andrea Leadsom, John Redwood and of course Michael Gove. All are standing down at the election, meaning more and more candidates need to be found and found fast. This all in less than a week after the launch.
The Prime Minister jetting to every corner of the UK, trying to sell his message to the country, but facing an exodus on his own side. One of his party's biggest beasts, levelling up Secretary Michael Gove, announcing he won't stand at the election. A cabinet minister under 5 different leaders, a defining figure in this Conservative generation. In a statement, he said, "No one in politics is a conscript. We are volunteers who willingly choose our fate, and the chance to serve is wonderful. But there comes a moment when you know it is time to leave, that a new generation should lead." Tory MPs in shock.
I have to say I was surprised. I'm very saddened as well. I think Michael Gove has been one of the most consequential politicians of this era.
Political titan Michael Gove has been at the epicentre of Tory politics for 19 years. He drove free schools, COVID policy, justice policy. When he took a stand, it mattered. Everybody noticed, as he did when he backed Brexit, when he betrayed Boris Johnson, when he wanted to oust Liz Truss. And now he is leaving this place. And people will ask, what does that mean?
He's far from the only Tory MP throwing in the towel. Fellow Minister Andrea Leadsom not standing either. One-time leadership contender, now a health minister paying tribute to the party, but not Rishi Sunak as she bowed out. Several others announced that they would do the same earlier in the day, taking the total to nearly 80 Conservatives stepping down. That's more than before Labour's 1997 landslide. A goodbye wave from the Prime Minister. Rishi Sunak testing the merchandise on a visit to a dockyard in Belfast's Titanic quarter, resolute against the charge he's the captain of a sinking ship.
Hi, I'm Rishi. How are you?
A whirlwind series of tightly controlled events with invited guests and workers. This business received millions in government grants since Rishi Sunak came in. The perfect place for a photo op. However long it takes. A campaign visit to a nation where his party barely stands any candidates.
Enjoying it?
The Prime Minister wanting credit for his most notable diplomatic success in office, the Windsor Framework, resolving Northern Ireland's place post-Brexit, although many other parts of his legacy are now going up in smoke.
Yes. The irony of Rishi Sunak being a Brexiteer and his only real success has been the Windsor Framework, which of course is undoing Brexit to a certain extent in Northern Ireland, or softening Brexit in Northern Ireland. The irony of that. And he was pictured next to Chris Heaton-Harris, the Northern Ireland Secretary of State, who's standing down as well at the next election, or at the election in 6 weeks' time. Now, I want to get back to Michael Gove, because Michael Gove, of course, is the big name here who's deciding to stand down. You know, there are other Brexiteers, but Michael Gove is the main one we want to focus on. Now, why is he doing that? Well, he won his seat in 2019 with a majority of just 18 or 19,000. So that's no longer safe. And of course, there will be tactical voting to get Michael Gove out. But that will no longer be the case because he will be replaced by some other candidate. Now, it's going to be difficult for the Conservatives to hire somebody to take that place because, look, that seat is going to be lost. So you're going to have to hire somebody who knows that they're going to lose the seat. And you're going to have to vet that person, because if you don't vet them, the media will, and it could have some more embarrassment for the Prime Minister and the Conservative Party going into the election. This is getting worse by the day. We're just a few days in, and it's already falling apart. And there are 6 more weeks to go, 5.5 weeks left before the election itself. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And people have been asking me, do you think the Conservatives will be knocked into third place? If you had asked me a week ago, I would say probably not. Now, I'm almost going, yes, they will, because they're losing very significant Tories. Going into the election, this doesn't just mean that these Tories are not confident they'll hold on to their seat. They're not confident about the party itself. And this is undermining the Conservative Party all over the place. The local elections were a disaster. Now many Tory MPs realise we're not going to hold on to our seat. It's best to jump now. Don't end up in a community centre at 3 a.m. receiving the bad news. Best to go before. Let somebody else face the music. And what can Rishi Sunak do at this stage? He can talk about his plan, he can try and attack Labour, but if he's losing his own MPs, then I think the writing is on the wall for him. And more importantly, the writing is on the wall for the public, because they're looking at this saying, why are these MPs leaving? Why are they abandoning him? What does this mean? Well, it means that the party is not in control, the Prime Minister is not in control, and it's all just falling apart. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.